It's worth noting that even at the lowest points of the economic crisis, the European construction market was still enormous, and it remains so. As 2014 turns into 2015, it's a good time to take a look at the construction market in Europe and how it's progressed in the last 12 months. We can round up what Construction Europe has been doing and take a quick look at what to expect next year. A full-blown recovery of the European construction sector has been lurking just round the corner for years, and it seems as if it's still just out of sight for most countries at least. As always, some regions are doing better than others. Some have sunk so low into the abyss that the climb back to anything like respectable numbers is going to take a major effort. Some regions that managed to ride out the worst of the initial storm are now finding it harder. All in all, the European construction industry was still a difficult place to be in 2013, and it remains so in 2014. And yet there is light on the horizon, although it's probably not that much nearer than it was in mid-2013 or mid-2012. European Commission forecasts suggest that the GDP of countries in the EU and the Eurozone have stabilised. That's according to FIEC, the European Construction Industry Federation. It added that these forecasts predicted a continuation of the economic recovery in most member states and the EU as a whole, a 1.5% rise in 2014, accelerating in 2015 to 2%. Construction activity lags behind the overall economic trend, and it continued to fall in 2013 with a drop of 2.3%, said FIEC. This was less than the 2012 slide of 4.1%, so at least it is travelling in the right direction. And it must not be forgotten just what a huge market Europe is. At 1,162 billion euros in 2013, it was still bigger than the combined figures of the US at 678 billion euros and Japan at 376 billion euros. Even at its lowest ebb, Europe has remained a formidable market, and while some regions have plummeted, a combined EU construction market should not be ignored. Thoughts of what might have been if the crash had not happened are one thing, but the EU is still a giant. Add in 3 other major markets from outside the Union, Norway, Switzerland and Turkey, and construction output stood at a massive 1,314 billion euros for 2013. It's no surprise that the individual results of the various countries were a mixed bag. FIEC's figures showed that construction output fell in France, Italy, Spain and Poland, among others. Germany grew, as did the UK, Turkey and Norway. The UK overtook Italy, which was down 6.9%, and took 3rd place in the total construction output league. FIEC recorded the greatest decreases against countries where it might have been considered there was nowhere left to fall. Greece was down 18.4%, Portugal 13.4%, and Spain down 10.3%. Portugal and Greece are well down the league table, but Spain is still managing to stay in 5th place, although the still quite substantial gap between it and the next place country, the Netherlands, has closed a bit. Actually, the Netherlands slipped slightly in 2013, as did the next countries, Sweden, Poland, which is probably still suffering a post-European football competition hangover, and Belgium. But these falls in 2013 were not hugely significant in size. FIEC said that EU construction output growth was to be found in Austria, just a 0.5 increase, and in markets that it described as very volatile. Estonia up 4.7%, Lithuania up 11.3% and Romania up 8.4%. The stabilisation of the German market, with a modest but important increase of 0.1%, helped considerably, as did a 4.4% surge in the UK, although FIEC noted that this was from a very low point. FIEC found a few rays of light though. It said Ireland was showing the first signs of getting out of the slump it had been in for a while. FIEC said that its slower decrease of 3.8% in 2013 was being forecast to turn into a 5.1% rise in 2014. If the total number of construction enterprises is an indication of the state of the industry, it should be noted that the EU fell from 3,116,000 in 2012 to 2,997,000 in 2013. Switzerland, in contrast, rose from 38,000 to 46,000, while Turkey stayed pretty much the same. Within the EU there were some increases in the number of construction enterprises, most notably in Italy, up from 563,000 to 590,000, and in Ireland, where it grew massively from 10,000 to 30,000. The problem with looking at the market from that angle is that there is an argument that it could be very misleading. If construction companies are laying off staff and they're setting up on their own in response to the situation, the number of enterprises is bound to appear to be flourishing. Irish jobs in construction, for example, grew from 103,000 in 2012 to only 104,000 in 2013, despite the apparent rise in the number of enterprises. The Italian figures show a fall from the 2012 figures of 1.75 million to 1.59 million in 2013. Sales of construction equipment fell slightly in 2013, the second year in a row that it has fallen. It's probably unfair to describe the recent small peak in 2011 as a false dawn, but there some lingering disappointment is allowable. Off-highway research figures show a 6% fall in 2013 for Western Europe, which it defines as Austria, Belgium, Denmark, Finland, France, Germany, Ireland, Italy, the Netherlands, Norway, Portugal, Spain, Sweden, Switzerland and the UK. Looking over construction equipment figures for the past few years, it's easy to see the damage done in 2009, with a calamitous 53% nosedive over the year before. Then there was a 16% rise in 2010 from that lowly position, with 23% growth in 2011. A 4% fall in 2012 was followed by the 6% drop in 2013. Notable rises can be seen from Ireland, admittedly off a low base, with sales up 12%, and Switzerland up 10%. Denmark rose 7% and the UK 5%. Going the other way were the Netherlands, down 19%, Portugal down 18%, Belgium down 15%, and both Germany and Italy dropping 11%. An indication of Spain's sorry position is that at 3,968 it sold 2 more units than the year before. Off-highway research reckoned that the total number of units sold in Western Europe during 2013, 111,437, was 22% below the 10-year average, and the third lowest volume of sales recorded in the last 15 years. The good news, however, is that off-highway research is forecasting a 5% rise in 2014 and 7% increase by 2018. In Construction Europe during 2014, there was good news and bad. For example, here are some of the more positive stories. And less good ones. While the road ahead is not straight and smooth, and the rate of recovery will depend very much on which European country is being examined, there are encouraging signs almost everywhere. The factors that will govern the rate of recovery are many and varied, of course, and much will still depend on governments' willingness to spend. However, with a fair wind and probably some good luck, it won't be that long before the European construction industry is a better place to do business, for contractors and machinery manufacturers alike. Several names were prominent in the pages of Construction Europe. Hochtief, for example, started the year with a European reorganisation. And it continued to slim down during the year. Holcim, Lafarge, Cemex and other cement companies featured regularly as regulatory authorities had their say and the proposed merger of Holcim and Lafarge inched forward. Construction Europe covered many product launches too. Throughout the year we were able to bring news and often video from product launches around Europe. And there were interviews with leading faces in the industry, including Volvo Construction Equipment's new CEO, Martin Weisberg, Wacker Neuson's Sem Pexaglam, Dingu Gao of Sandvik, and Caterpillar's Spanish dealer. There were a number of European shows this year. For example, Construction Europe was at Samata in Italy and Smopic in Spain, as well as Hillhead in the UK. But the major international show was Conexpo in Las Vegas, and Construction Europe was there, of course. For 2015, the main European show will be Intermat in Paris, though there will be others such as Plantworks in the UK and Comatec in Turkey. In November, KHL, the publisher of Construction Europe, will be staging ICEF, the International Construction Equipment Forum. Held on the 2nd and 3rd of November in Amsterdam, this will be a global meeting place for buyers and users of construction equipment. The event includes conference sessions, presentations and panel discussions looking at the latest trends and issues for equipment users worldwide. There will also be the ICEF Awards. All the details about this are at www.khl.com, where there are also details about all the other KHL offerings, including all our magazines, digital downloads, tablet versions, podcasts, videos, events, and so on. There's a lot to look forward to next year. We can hope for some kind of resurgence in the market, and hopefully the industry's patience will be rewarded with increased business. If you see us at a show, please come and say hello, but if we don't meet in person, we will be in touch through print, video, audio and the web. I'd like to wish you a prosperous new year and look forward to a great 2015.